Back it up. Back it up. Yeah, there we are. Here we are. Welcome to Sleeveless Saturdays on the LLW network. It's the Weekly Wrestle.
That's right.
Yeah. You're doing the middle fingers up in the air. Yeah. The crew's here. Mr. Monday Red, Jefferson Hammer, Roy Hammer, and Tammy Kaboom. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Thank you all so much for joining us. We have... How are you doing, Roy?
I'm okay. I'm all right. I've mentioned this on Wednesday's show, and I believe it was Brooklyn Bleak potentially who affirmed my decision, which was appreciated. That I had interest in a Toyota vehicle, a vehicle manufactured by Toyota, and I received the car yesterday. I'm an official owner of a car.
Congratulations.
Crazy. Really
That's
interesting.
Nuts.
Really,
never thought I'd see the day.
Me either.
Never thought I'd see
And when I saw those loan payments, I was like,
I thought you'd own a bus before you owned a car.
Yeah.
And it's Sleeveless Saturdays here. You see this bad boy?
Oh, wow. Where did that come from?
My boss, my old boss, went to a WWE event and they gave a bunch of swag, and I want to paint over the American flag with a pride flag and
smart.
have just Undertaker just like riding around with it. That's my goal. That's my
How
dream.
are you?
Gay icon Undertaker.
How was last night's show? You had a show last night.
Kyle killed.
Kyle,
the draft. Honestly, I don't know why I even do comedy as myself anymore, because Kyle's so much better. Same material. Same material.
Wow. I have a lot of positive thoughts about that.
Yeah, Kyle the draft kills, does a great job. Thank you all so much for joining. I'm feeling like my brain's in the dog pound.
I thought you were going to do the barking. Oh, you haven't shared your sound.
Oh, I've not shared my sound. I have
It's
not.
just like,
I've been playing a lot of noises.
have you been?
Yeah. I did the kaboom. The dog barking.
You are fake news. You are fake news.
Dude, that was sick.
Okay, we're good.
You had to catch up.
We had to catch up. There was a lot of noise that was playing. Thank you all so much for joining us at the Weekly Wrestle. Bless all your hearts. We should probably start this train off with a little Rampage talk.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about this Rampage?
I thought it was good. I have some thoughts about Rampage in general.
I'd love to hear them.
I just, the show is interesting. They are showcasing different talent. We can talk about the specific show in a moment, especially Mance Warner, because I enjoyed his match with Jon Moxley. It's probably my favorite thing of the show. But I just think Rampage, and they don't need to do it immediately. There's no rush necessarily, but you got to turn up the heat a little bit, Tony Khan. Rampage has to mean something. And I know you're saying it means something. It means something in the fact that it's on television and people wrestle on it, but it's got to feel exciting.
Yeah.
It just has to feel exciting.
Or different. I feel like Dynamite has been really ramping up the past couple weeks where we're feeling really good about it. And very transversely, Rampage is feeling more like milquetoast, Yeah,
last night's show was live, so you're thinking this is going to be exciting, but it was okay.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Let's talk about it.
You remember growing up as a child and you watched the Saturday morning shows, whether it was WCW on UPN at 12 o'clock on Sundays or Superstars or whatever it is, and it's there's some matches there and you see some highlights from whatever. It's fine. If this show was on Saturday mornings, I'd be like, oh, this show's perfect. It's great.
Yeah.
But a Friday night, 10 o'clock, you got to give me something more.
Give me something. It's prime time, baby.
Yeah. Especially following up SmackDown, because you are following SmackDown directly, really.
Yeah. And just to let you know that we can't have a Weekly Wrestle without Tony Boom in the chat. Tony Khan is in the chat.
Tony Khan.
The real Tony Khan, not that fake bullshit. Tony says old Manser got to hit the pay window after his 15 minutes of fame. Boom! Yeah, let's go. It's true. Let's talk about
Manser? I thought you would.
The show started off with Moxley versus Mance. Yeah. Jon Moxley versus Mance Warner. Mance Warner gave a hell of a little promo in the beginning there.
He's a good talker.
That. Good talker. Intense. The match was fun. It was a fun match, but it was because of Jon Moxley.
Yeah, Moxley's a really good opponent for him.
Yeah, because the thing is, dude, Mansoor knows how to sell.
Yeah.
But that being said, his punches look like shit. His clothesline looks like he's hitting a grandma. It's just, he's got weak offense.
Well, there's something to be said too about somebody who's never really like been on TV. Like there needs to be, there's a learning curve. There's a learning curve.
I agree.
He is someone who needs to take some time, and he'll get better on offense. But the foundation is there. If you know how to sell, you know how to cut a promo, you're different, you're interesting. He looks different. He's unique. I'm into it.
No, I mean, that's fair. I'm not trying to be too hard on him, but it was a good match.
S predicted that you'd like him.
No, and I don't mind him. I don't mind Mance Warner. I just feel that it's not. It wasn't that bad. I'm making a bigger deal. It was a good match, fun match. Him bleeding at the end was out of nowhere.
He loves bleeding. This guy.
Yeah,
well, that's what they have in common.
But we got some some fun offense here with Moxley doing the stomps on the face, pile driver, back to stomps, then chokes him out, which was a fun little end to the match. S is in the chat. Welcome. That's the hammer, laying down the hammer. S writes, a world title eliminator match, a tag title street fight. The show was great. You too, Cray. We love you, S. We love you so much. Let's talk a little bit more. We have Ricky Aftermath. We have Ricky Starks in the back facing QT's Tony Soprano APA. Because they stole your APA idea from Butcher and Blade.
I'm so mad about that.
And they're giving it to QT and what is a Camacho wearing? Or what is it? Camatillo? What is his name?
Camarado.
What is he wearing?
That's a good question.
Drastic change. He went from being like this crazy man. Now he's wearing Daddy Magic's gimmick.
A little bit. And I don't like it. I don't like it. It bothers me. I'm trying to see if I can find a picture of that. I want to see. But
essentially they offered Ricky Starks some protection, Roy. They offered him some protection. A little protection. And Ricky's just like, who you protected? And smacked him out of the way and walked away. Ricky's good like this, and this is a good way to use him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited. They can't take their foot off the gas on Ricky Starks.
I have a thought on Ricky Starks.
Yeah.
And I was talking to fan of the show, friend of the show, and newest Discord member. Email us directly if you would like to join the Discord. loserleespod@gmail.com. Please, I'm looking at you, Tony. I'm looking at you, Hassan. I'm looking at you, Woodsy the Beast. S, well, you're already there, and we love
Brooklyn.
You there. But they haven't gotten in yet, so I might go say.
Hassan's
all
here?
of you. Oh, yeah, Hassan's here. Hi there, Hassan.
Hey,
they wrote hi there. They wrote hi there. Hi there. And Woodsy the Beast is here. I don't know anything following SmackDown wasn't going to be good. I didn't know anything following SmackDown wasn't going to be good.
Didn't
do good.
Know anything following SmackDown.
I don't know. No, I don't know. Separate thought. Anything following SmackDown wasn't going to do good. That's a fair statement because SmackDown was SmackDown. We'll talk about that in a bit, but SmackDown's getting interesting.
Well, because
Raw's getting interesting. Yeah. I don't like Karrion Kross specifically, but that was exciting.
Sure. And that's what we're going to see. We're going to see some of that.
Yeah. We are. I was talking to a friend of the show, International Nick Saber, who I
thought that was him for some reason.
I just invited him to the Discord.
Yeah, that's
Did you write International Nick Saber?
No. But I just saw a name and I was like, I wonder if that's Nick Saber. I don't even remember what is
wacky.
Something like that. Yeah, it's like International Nick Saber.
But we were talking about Ricky Starks, and want to know what I really feel the best place for Ricky Starks is? Ring of Honor.
Why?
He could run the show.
Sure.
He could be the top dog because that character like that should be the top dog, should be running the show. And he really can't in this environment, not saying he won't ever, but if you put him in Ring of Honor, give them a big star like Ricky, who could be someone I want to tune in to watch Ring of Honor because Ricky's on the show, make him a big deal, have him there for 6 months to a year. And then he's just want to what? It's time. I'm coming back to take the do what I was supposed to do.
As long as Ring of Honor is set up with the right exposure. If Ring of Honor is just going to be a YouTube show, then no, Ricky Stark shouldn't be there. But neither should Claudio. No one should really be there. But if they got a TV deal of some kind or a streaming deal on HBO or whatever, 100% put him on there.
I just feel that Ricky, I'm excited for him as a face. I think he's going to do great as a face. But there's no place for him on Dynamite as a face.
I don't agree with that.
He's much more valuable as a heel on Dynamite right now because I can't think of many heels besides Christian and Jericho.
I mean, Powerhouse Hobbs is a heel.
Yeah, but that's
who
just
he's feuding with, and then
you know what I'm saying.
Think about it, right? Like, I can think of a lot of heels, but I don't know how well those heels are being used. Like,
no, I'm saying
Andrade
like top heels
and Roosh. Like, you can make Andrade and Roosh top heels anytime you want. You can make Malachi Black a top heel anytime you want. These guys are heels. They're just not.
I don't even know about Malachi. I don't even know what's going on with Malachi.
He's being painted as a heel, even though he's being cheered.
And Andrade, like, I feel like Ricky's farther along than both of those two.
From like a booking perspective,
from a book, like he's
like
much
the crowd is more used to him, and he's built up with the crowd.
He's got some value. He's got something there. Like, and if he was still with Hobbs as his muscle, I could see him as a potential title contender. Maybe not to win the championship, but definitely give Moxley a little feud a couple of weeks.
I suppose.
But now him as a face, it changes things. And there's just no room for for him to be a top face or even a mid card face. Look at all the competition he has. He's facing Darby Allin. He's got Moxley. He's got Danielson. He's got Wheeler Yuta. He's got Claudio. It's
also
stacked.
Adam Cole, big time heel, but Adam Cole is siloed. Like
he's siloed. He's not wrestling.
Bubble.
And we also don't know when he's going to be coming back. And so
he's
like him
coming back by the pay-per-view, I would think. They're setting it up for him to come back by the pay-per-view. But we'll see.
I hope so.
We'll see.
But you know what I'm saying though? Like I feel like Ricky on Ring of Honor would be a great time.
But my whole feeling is
if they have something for Ring of Honor.
My whole feeling is that the cream rises to the top. Which is like this, it's scary. It's like easier said than done because I don't think Tony Khan sees it that way. I think Tony Khan is like, these are my guys and I'm going to push them no matter what. And the AEW crowds in general just give great reactions to everything and everyone because they just love the product. And I'm a part of that. I'm not, excluding myself from that. But my feeling is that if you really let Ricky go and you give him the time, he will blow past all of your baby faces. He'll blow past Wardlow in a heartbeat. He's already blown past Wardlow. Yeah. And Ricky should be TNT champion, and he should say, hey, I'm TNT champ. The way I got into this company was an open challenge. I'm reinstituting the open challenge. Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, believe me, I'm all for it. I'm all for that. But Tony writes in the chat, Ricky Starks for Samoa Joe sounds pretty darn good. And it does. It does. Good point, Tony. Yeah. But after that, we get another Takeshita with a T, not a K.
With a
Takeshita or Takeshita. Takeshita.
King Tut.
Don't confuse me. Takeshita versus Ryan Nemeth. Best use I've seen of Ryan Nemeth in a long time. Yeah. Just have him go out there, try to do his stupid bullshit, and then get squished. Yeah. Great job. And also, Takeshita looks great.
Takeshita is really, really, really awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The more I see of him, the better I like him. Pretty Peter tries to attack him afterwards and gets taken out real quick. Too sweet. Yeah. Love it. Love it stuff.
You got a big bottle there?
I got several.
That's your Kansas City hat? That's Kansas City Monarchs?
Yeah. Hello? Hello?
Where'd you go?
Hello?
Your video's down.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
What the fuck's going on? Stay with us through these technical difficulties. I was having too much fun playing with water.
Well, I guess we'll save it because I'm sure you're going to talk about it later. But like, Takeshi is another good example of somebody who I'm not sure they have a lot of room for right now. There you are. Hey, bud.
There I am. But that's why I think another Ring of Honor great get.
Yeah, he should be Ring of Honor champion.
Yeah, there's a few people, but I think like just putting in people that are great workers but not great talkers is a bad move. I think Ricky should be there because he'll be literally the talker of Ring of Honor also against Samoa Joe. But we have more stuff going on. Lexi Nair talks to Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends in the back, and the Best Friends they're wearing. Honestly, their gear looks like Dude Love, and I kind of like it though.
Yeah, sure.
As Dude Love vibes. But they're talking about going into the trios together. And honestly, like when you were talking about trios, I have mixed feelings on them. But like, I think the Best Friends in Orange Cassidy, I want them to win the trios championship. They won't.
They won't
because there's a storyline that they already have embedded. but like that's like kind of, I just don't like. Again, we've talked about trios, but yeah. But then there's Dr. Danhausen, which I think has been the best use of Danhausen so far. Having him show up and just be the doctor, I think him being a doctor is very funny, and they should keep that.
Yeah,
they should keep that. Like have him be a doctor in the back, and he's just like kind of like trying to that's it's a great gimmick. I think that's really good. Keep that going. That makes the teeth thing make more sense.
Yes. Yes, he's a dentist, and then he feuds with Britt Baker.
Honestly,
intergender, your first intergender match in AEW.
But she'd have to
Britt
squish
Baker
him.
For Stanhausen. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, just making sure. Tony writes, Adam Cole has a labrum injury on top of his concussion. Yeah, so we don't know what's going on with him.
A lot of people with labrum injuries.
What is the labrum? That's the arm, right?
It's like the shoulder, like a torn labrum. It's like in your shoulder.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, I hear it's very, very, very painful.
Next up, we get Madison Rayne versus Layla Gray.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to see Madison Rayne there. She's now a coach, the first female coach that they have about damn time. Yeah. I think this is a very good match. Very good match.
Yeah, this is a good setup for Jade. Jade versus Madison Rayne should be good. Madison Rayne has experience. Jade hasn't been wrestling as much, which I think was a problem. She needs to get as much work as she can. So this should be good for her. I'm excited.
Jade needs this desperately, and I'm very happy
and
that
this,
she gets
this
it.
prolongs, but that's the problem is that there isn't a ton of heat, but this prolongs the Athena match, which is going to probably happen at the pay-per-view.
And which is fine, actually.
Yeah.
Give it a little bit more sizzle on there. And then we get Jade coming out afterwards, blah, blah, blah. But Madison Rayne takes him out. The Cross Reigns.
Cross Reigns.
Instead of the Crossroads, it's the Cross Reigns.
Yeah.
Main event of the night, Josh Woods and Tony Nese versus Swerve in Your Glory. And it was a good match.
Yeah, it was a good match. It was fun. The crowd felt into it, but I didn't feel like it had a ton of heat. But that's just, I think, because we know Tony Nese is going to lose. And I get that you have to do this. I understand that, right? Like, and that's something that's just accepted in wrestling. Like when Roman Reigns last year, I guess, not this past WrestleMania, but 2 WrestleManias ago, when he literally took Bryan Danielson and Edge, put them on top of each other, and pinned them both in the main event of WrestleMania. And then the next month he had a pay-per-view match with Cesaro. You knew Cesaro had no shot. You just knew it. But, you work a little bit harder. You work a couple of more weeks to build up whoever the opponent's going to be. So at least it feels like it matters a little bit more. But this was fine. Yeah. You got to get your tag team champions on TV more. But it's time for feuds. And I agree with you. This is me agreeing with you. That Tony Khan, for the most part, when it comes to booking champions, is like, oh, you're a champion? We're not going to put you in feuds per se, but you're going to have a lot of title defenses. I don't care that much about these title defenses, though, if there's no story behind them. And if I don't super care about what the challenger has done to earn the title shot. Because chances are, most of those challengers have earned all of this on Dark, and I just don't have time to watch Dark.
And honestly, though, I really am a little upset with the fact that this was a street fight. We've never seen Josh Woods in a match on AEW.
Well, not on television, but on Dark.
Was it? On Dark,
exactly.
But like on television. And this is Tony Nese and Josh Woods' first time as a tag team on television.
Yeah.
And they're in a street fight. What a waste! A waste of a street fight. Mance Warner versus Moxley should have been the main event. This should have been the opening bout, and it should have been a regular match.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that necessarily. I'm not as offended about the street fight stuff, but I get your point. I see where you're coming from. Yeah, and I'm not saying like also that these like building somebody up, it needs to be like a long feud. Like if you look at, and I don't even know. I don't know if this is the best way to do things. I'm probably just partial because that's how we were raised throughout the late 90s and early 2000s, but it would be monthly feuds. Goldberg was champion. He feuded with DDP. Once he beat DDP in October, he then feuded with Nash and then fought Nash. And the same thing when Shawn was champion. If you look at when Shawn Michaels was champion in 1996, right? He feuded with Vader. He feuded with Mankind. He feuded with Diesel. And it's just every month he had a different opponent. They would fight at the pay-per-view. He feuded with Bulldog. And that's just how it would go. And that's fine, but like give me some heat. Give me some damn heat.
Give me some damn heat. And but we'll talk about some more interesting things that are happening in WWE soon. We're gonna talk. We're talking. But that's the end of Rampage. So a good Rampage. S, we love you, but I don't think it was anything to write home about.
I think it was good, but that's the thing, and it's not even a bad thing that it's good. It's just you're held to a bit of a higher standard now, AEW. When your Wednesday shows are molten hot like they are, and they're just so fucking good, your Friday shows need to be hot.
Yeah.
Give me the heat.
Give me the heat. Tony writes, Jade needs to be on every Rampage. I think Jade needs to be on every Dynamite because she's the TBS champion. Wardlow should be on every Rampage.
True.
Why are they those champions if they're not on every one of those shows?
Yeah.
Roy.
Yeah.
Tell me.
My partner.
Oh, is there a bird?
No, my partner just walked away. I don't know where they're going. Anyway. Scrappy's just like on the loose. I don't know.
Okay. Well, we got to start talking some wrestling news, Roy.
Yeah, let's get into it.
It's about damn time we talked about some wrestling news on the Weekly Wrestle. Thank you all so much again for joining us. We're here to talk about number one story of the week, Roy. I think you'll be happy with this.
Okay.
Number one story of the week is the AEW video game is number one.
Yeah.
Number one news. The first slide there,
exciting.
Tam.
Really exciting.
We got the AEW video game details just dropped. We're all very excited for this AEW video game. Kenny Omega has poured his blood, sweat, and
Kool-Aid.
Screen time or Kool-Aid. I was gonna say Mountain Dew into this, and we're getting a real fun, apparently, hopefully, a real fun arcade style wrestling game that has like kind of like No Mercy vibes, fun 90s cartoony action.
Yeah.
Have you seen the gameplay, Roy?
I've seen a little bit of the gameplay, and I similar to when AEW launched as a company, I think there were a lot of backlash. You know, there's a lot of backlash because they were doing things differently than the WWE was, and so many fans had literally only seen what the WWE has done for the last 20 years. So there was a lot of people who were a little confused by it. I feel like it's going to be a little similar when the video game launches because people are going to be so used to like 2K gameplay and what it's been. Because really, the WWE is the only successful wrestling video game of the 21st century, really. Like, they are the only company. I mean, there were Legends of Wrestling, which is like not great.
Def Jam,
possibly. You know, I've never played that game. I've always wanted to play it.
You would love Def Jam Fight for New York.
Yeah.
The second one. Def Jam Fight for New York, being ludicrous, and his finisher is dropping bows, and he's just throwing elbows at you and then dropping them on you. It's so awesome.
Rules.
And it's so cartoony and fun. Yeah. Everyone should play it. But yeah, like I see what you mean, and it is the most successful one. But I think unlike AEW Dynamite, when it came out, it's just like there's a lot of issues with the show, to be honest. You watch the show and like there's some fun things. No, not now. I'm saying back when you first watched, the production was weird. Remember the Dark Order, how shitty Dark Order was, how absolutely shitty that was, and how they thought it was good.
Hold on.
It was shitty.
That's a different conversation. Keep going.
But like, there was just a lot of like rookie mistakes, and I'm expecting them to happen with the game too. But also, these are THQ knows what they're doing. Hughes knows what they're doing.
Yeah, and I think Kenny does too. I mean,
and he is, and he's passionate, which is needed.
Yeah, absolutely. And he understands wrestling. And then let everybody else understand the inner workings of the video games. And I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. And I do like in that like weird promo that they did with Tony and Britt Baker. Britt went out of her way to be like, yeah, it's so easy to play. You just pick up the controller and you start playing, which I think is really important because I know how to punch, kick, and throw power moves in a WWE game, but I don't know how to do all that shit that I see in YouTube videos.
There is a learning curve, and if you play online, good fucking luck, kid.
Sure.
Those kids are masters at it. They're masters at it. And maybe back in the day, here comes the pain. I could do some whack ass shit, like really do some weird stuff, but not anymore.
Yeah.
It's the game's.
Who's got time?
Who's got time?
But
some of the features that we do see in there are like some sort of Simon Says game, which looks fun. Like you see Penta in front, kind of doing like the Cero Miedo, but like everyone behind has to do it as fast as possible too. Yeah. There seems to be a home run derby on a football field.
So great.
Which is fun. And then you also have, what was it? Some sort of coin game where you're fighting people and coins are falling, like poker chips are falling, and you have to gather them, but also fight. I'm excited.
I hope that all of those mini games are tied into some type of Mario Party mode. where it's like a board game and you go from piece to piece and you've got to play these little games. Like,
and then every now and then you get into a fight and you have to just go one-on-one with someone in the group.
Sure, of course.
Let's go. That's a great idea.
So
That's great.
fun.
Hey, Tony, listen up. Let Kenny know.
I think if this game is successful, it really could broaden. This could do huge numbers for AEW and increase their viewership, their everything. It'll allow people like. I'm a nerd, so it's different. But playing SmackDown versus Raw 2005 or something. Novice wrestling fans who were getting the game for John Cena and Triple H and The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, got that game and they were like, oh, who's this Paul London guy? He can do a moonsault and a forfeit. You're going to get to know all of these guys. And that's also really fun and exciting.
And the people that they have in it already might draw some people in. Let me bring up some of the people that we see. There's a screenshot that someone has of someone on the character select screen.
Yeah.
And so here are the people that we see so far. Definitely see Jericho, Christian. Hard to tell some of these people. They definitely show CM Punk and Kenny Omega. They're prominent. Kenny Omega has an enormous chest.
Well, hey, he's got home field advantage.
No, but if you look at they put him side by side with CM Punk, and it's a little erotic. Yes, Danhausen is there. FTR. I see Eddie Kingston. I see Fuego del Sol.
Well, sure. You got to have a jobber.
I have to have some jobbers. Jeff Hardy looks to be in the game. So
we know
it's definitely going to be bringing in people that know, like CM Punk, Jeff Hardy, Sting. Very important to have for this game to bring people in,
Yeah, I'm just
Owen
taking
Hart.
a quick look at...
Do you see my picture that I showed?
No, but I did pull up a website that's claiming to have everyone who's confirmed so far.
Okay.
And, Cody is in the game, which I think is great and important. Awesome. Abaddon, hilarious. Hikaru Shida, which we know from one of the promos. Penta and Phoenix.
Okay.
Yuka Sakazaki, which is a lot of fun. Thunder Rosa, obviously. I think Darby, of course. Jungle Boy. Chris Stat. Owen Hart, which we've talked about.
It should be a good lineup, and
I'm sure Sting. We saw Adam Cole in the promo. He was swinging the bat.
Really, the most important ones in my brain to get people in: CM Punk, Sting, Jeff Hardy, Owen Hart. Just to grab.
Jeff Hardy's going to be in the game.
Yeah, he is. I see a picture of him.
Interesting.
Jeff Hardy is definitely in the game. If Ruby's got to be in it, but so very exciting stuff. Eddie's definitely.
I know Matt Sydal is not in the game. I'm just saying. He's not in the game.
Fuego del Sol is.
Well, Fuego del Sol has been a jobber for a really long time in AEW. He has. He started jobbing for them at the beginning of 2020. Yeah, I suppose you're right about that.
He's the middle of 2020. But we have to keep moving on, Roy, because we have other things. AEW news.
No.
Can we go to the next slide there, Tam? AEW announces a new expansion of the talent relations and development, which is long overdue because of all the complaints they're getting from people that haven't been able to talk to Tony Khan or anyone. So these are the people that have moved up. QT is now the VP of the show and creative coordination. So hopefully making sure that the people aren't doing the same things on each match. That's what I'm hoping that means. Pat Buck is the VP of talent development, you're developing talent. I have no idea what they actually do.
Yeah.
Tony Schiavone has a new role as senior producer and special advisor to talent. I'm just a feeling this is an honorary title. He's really doing nothing different.
Well, he is a producer. He always has been.
And he wants to be real bad.
Stuff. Yeah, that's what he loves to do.
And I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him. And then we got Madison Rain coming in as the first female coach, and hopefully a few more to help with that area. But exciting stuff. I'm just excited that they're finally realizing, we have to be a little bit more professional with talent relations.
Yeah, 100%. And now it's never been more important. This is, I think, partially a reactionary move to the Jonathan Gresham stuff, and also a reactionary move to Triple H taking over and WWE suddenly becoming a lot more talent friendly, and they need to make sure that everybody's happy. I mean, it's precautionary. I don't know if it's necessarily mandatory, but it's important nonetheless.
Well, speaking of, next slide there, Tam. We have some WWE returns. Some WWE returns this past week. Pretty groundbreaking people. We got Dakota Kai, Io Shirai, now Io Sky. Bailey's back. Scarlett and Karrion Kross.
Yeah.
That's 1 week, Roy. One full week. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I know.
The winds of change, they smell sweet. They smell sweet,
Why
these
do they
winds
smell
of
sweet
change.
to you? Because you hate AEW? Why can't two companies be good?
I'm just saying.
That's what I
because we had
understand.
some. I'm not mad at it. I'm just saying. I'm more saying that this Triple H change is tangible, and we're going to see changes very soon. Well, last time we talked to you, you and S were ganging up on me, saying like,
Whoa.
nothing's going to change. The change is
I
never going to
never
happen.
said nothing's going to change.
And
I said I want
I'm going
to
to pull
see
the
it.
clip.
I said,
the clip.
I said, show me the change, and then I'll start watching the show. That's what I said.
Have you seen the change yet, or is it still?
I haven't watched the show.
So I may never see the change.
I mean, look, the Karrion Kross thing is interesting. He's not a good wrestler, but he's a good
He's
character.
a fine wrestler and a cool character.
Fine. It's
he's
all character work. And Triple H was like,
Good
yeah, I got
character,
to hire this guy back because he's all fucking character. And that's what we want on the main roster is character.
Do you think Io Shirai and Dakota Kai are all character?
I never said that.
But they brought them back, which is good because it's
Yeah, they're great. They're both great.
but it's just looking at the change is
Who
immediate.
else
And Tomas
is out there that is a Triple H guy that hasn't been signed? Besides
They've all been
Bray
signed.
Wyatt.
They've all been signed. And I wouldn't call Bray Wyatt a Triple H guy. He's a Vince guy.
He came through NXT.
Sure. I would say that most of them are picked up because they're good gets. But that being said, I could definitely see Adam Cole switching sides once his comes up. If it ever comes up.
2028.
Jesus Christ. But
There's nothing wrong with being signed to AEW, though. There's like nothing wrong with this. This is the thing that we don't understand as wrestling fans inherently. We're not used to just two companies being good and coexisting. I hope it can happen.
No, but I'm just saying that if I were to choose where some people go, I think Adam Cole in WWE fared better than Adam Cole in AEW. I think Adam Cole in WWE had, and NXT specifically, was treated better, thought of better, booked better, and was just better overall. And when he came to AEW, it felt like a major step. Like he just stepped down for his character and his career because they stopped caring about him. Like people stopped caring.
None of that's true, but that's okay. That's okay. That's your perspective, and that's okay. We can all have our own perspectives.
You fucker.
But I
You
I
piece
think
of
a guy like
garbage.
Malachi Black is better off in WWE. I think Adam Cole is better off in AEW. Personally.
I think there are people that are better off in AEW, 100%. I'm not trying to say that AEW isn't a great place for a lot of people. I don't think Darby Allin would ever get the time of day in WWE. I think a lot of people wouldn't get the time of day. But like I think someone like Adam Cole, who's been proven to be Triple H's like bud, Triple H wants him to be a champion.
The other thing, though, is that they want him to be champion, too. Like, they want Adam Cole to be champion, but it's a long road to the top here. That's the thing. That's the difference.
Wasn't in WWE.
But that's exactly it. The WWE doesn't give a shit about their titles. And you don't have to work hard to be champion because there are going to be people who are champion for 2 months. I understand that Roman Reigns has been champion for 180 million fucking days. But now, because you made him champion,
salty little squirrel.
Because look at all of the people who have been Intercontinental or United States champion in the last year. Name 5 Intercontinental champions in the last year. None of them fucking matter. They're all the same. Gunther doesn't matter. Ricochet doesn't matter. Shinsuke doesn't matter. That doesn't reflect.
Sami Zayn.
I don't even think he's been champion in the last year. I honestly haven't a clue. And it doesn't matter, but I can name every TNT champion. Even if they're not booking those titles well, I can name every TNT champion. I can name every WWE champion or AEW champion because you work hard to get to those titles. They're not going to bring in Adam Cole and just give him the belt 2 months later. It just doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. And the only reason they gave it to Punk, okay.
Sorry. I didn't even say. No, I agree entirely with what you're saying. They do treat titles better in AEW. They do treat titles better in AEW. Historically, but this new Triple H reign,
We'll see.
Can't wait. We have some comments here. Tony writes, I'm not a Karrion Kross fan. I've seen him since Lucha Underground, and I'm not a fan. Was he in Lucha Underground?
He was in Lucha Underground? I had no idea.
Maybe
I saw him
the
in
last,
Impact.
I missed the last season of Lucha Underground.
Jake Hager.
Was Jake Hager in there?
Yeah.
Could have fooled me. Tony writes, Bronson Reed will beg Triple H for a job back, I'm sure. Bronson Reed, another great. That's a good point.
A good guy. That's a
Bronson
good guy.
Reed, bring him back in.
Sure.
See what he can
let's
do.
not take it easy. Like, that's the thing that's really fascinating, and wrestling is going to be really interesting over the next 3 to 4 years because there's just only so much room. And I understand that Raw and SmackDown are going to have different rosters, so maybe that'll help, but like, there's only so much room. And the WWE, what we don't realize is that, yeah, like they got rid of so many NXT guys, but like there's also a ton of people on the main roster right now that just aren't being used well, and Triple H will also change that as well. A guy like Ricochet, Seth Rollins has just lost. That's all he's done is lose. Matt Riddle has been where he's been. Yeah.
Have you seen? Did you hear what they're going to do with Karrion Kross? The plans are for him.
I read somewhere that they're going to put him against Reigns for one of the titles.
So it looks like because they've been doing McIntyre versus Reigns like a few times now, and they're trying to not do repetitive matches anymore, which is exciting. They're just like, well, you know what? Let's interject this third person that's being a disruptor. So it's going to be kind of like a 3-way feud between those three. Potentially for a title, but just kind of like disrupt that title scene a little bit, throw someone else and new into the mix. Karrion's not going to win it, but after he has this kind of feud with him, he might go on to Intercontinental and make some sense,
No, I think he might win one of the titles.
You think they're going to end Reigns' thing for Karrion Kross?
I'm just saying, I'm putting this out there. The USA Network has said multiple times that they want their own champion on Raw, and Roman Reigns never appears on Raw. 1 and 2, if he whatever title, they got stupid names and whatever. If I'm so distracted by that. If Roman loses the Raw title and not the SmackDown title, his title reign isn't disrupted. It's the SmackDown championship that he's had for like 2.5 years, not the Raw title. He had the Raw title since WrestleMania. So if he drops that, he drops that. And if it's a 3-way and he doesn't get pinned, there you go.
Okay. That's fair. I just feel like, man, do I not want it to be Karrion Kross? That's my only thing. But I hear what you're saying.
Why are you bringing him back? And the thing is, Scarlett's the money. Karrion's there, but Scarlett's the money.
Well, they're the money together.
They are the money together, rather than Sable and Mark Marrow.
Yeah, I do not care about either of them separately at all. At all. But like I hear what you're saying, but I don't know. But we'll see. It's exciting because we're actually asking real questions of what's happening, which is very fun.
It's
very fun. That's what I'm looking for. Fun, Roy.
I'm looking for fun too. I just get worried. I get very guarded. I'm going to be honest here. I'm going to be honest, and maybe someone in the chat can relate to me. I get guarded because there's never been a time where both companies were successful. Like, I guess there was like a brief period in 1998 where both companies were successful, but like usually if one gets hot, that means the other one's going to fail. And I don't want either company to fail. I mean, I would love for the WWE to fail, don't get me wrong, but I just don't want AEW to fail. Well, because WWE they've just been so terrible to wrestlers for such a long period of time.
Yeah, but like I like everything, like everyone, I want to hope for change. I love change. Sure. Change is great. And with a place change. And with like WWE and this big network that they have of wrestlers and shows, and imagine the change that could happen on the scale it could happen. It seems great.
If anybody loves a good change, this guy loves a good change.
I know you love change. This dude loves freaking change. Don't get me started. Change. That's what happens when change happens.
All
There's a little ding that happens.
Pocket change. I love some good pocket change.
Shit. I wish I had change sound. Okay, we'll get it later. Yeah. But we have to move on, Roy.
We got to keep rolling.
We got to move on because we have more talking about more Triple H changes. Next slide there, Tam. We got Ciampa has the U.S. title match coming up next week against Bobby Lashley. Exciting.
Do you think
that's a cool matchup?
You think he's going to win?
I don't think he's going to win, but it's a cool matchup, and it puts Ciampa in that breath. Yeah. You know, like beat AJ Styles, beat whoever else, Dolph Ziggler, whatever. But he beat Dolph Ziggler and someone else in a triple threat, and then
Ciampa
he beat
with the Miz.
that's what he was in Vince McMahon era, but who knows what it's going to be like now. I think Miz is a good person to partner people with because he does make whoever he's with look better.
Yeah.
And that's been true. You know, he's a good person to have in your corner.
Not going to get an argument from me on that one, pal.
I love when you do your character work. That's great. I swear. Roy's a great improviser. Y'all have to check him out sometime. Check out Good Fight when Roy's on it next. He's going to blow your freaking
If you're in Austin,
off.
come on August 16th, come to Fallout Theater. I got a show, 8 p.m.
What do you got? You Pioneers?
No, Catherine and I are doing our duo.
Ooh, can't wait. August 16th?
Yeah, it's a Tuesday at 8 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we took these pictures that were pretty good. I wore lipstick.
Oh, man. Post them on the fucking... Can you put show here?
Look at this guy. You see that?
Look at that. That's great. Eli Cash. Eli, a popular the improv and sketch group. Eli Cash. You guys should do improv together. But here's some more Triple H changes. Sasha and Naomi probably coming back.
We'll see about that. We'll see.
Just saying.
We'll see. Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I'm into it. Sasha wins the Rumble.
Banned terms are being loosened up, the banned terms. So like talking about wrestling and wrestlers and belt and things of that nature, loosened up. Let's have some fun with it now.
Love it.
Great things. And everyone in the back is fucking stoked and excited as hell.
Yeah, which is great because no one's been happy for years.
No one's been happy for years. And they also changed Vince's office to office, which I for some reason they put on the, like, that's news. Like, well, yeah. It's not his office anymore. Yeah. Like, it's just so funny to me that like everyone's just like, oh, they're renaming Vince's office because it's not his office.
Yeah,
like
right. Well, I think just taking away the stigma, like Vince's office just had a stigma attached to it. Like, do you remember in Wrestling with Shadows, they showed a clip of like the Vince's office sign and it had like a chariot and like a Roman soldier on it. Like,
that's very funny.
Yeah.
But that was back when it was like, that was like fun.
It was a little more tongue in cheek.
Now, because Chief J Strongbow used to call him Caesar. You ever hear that?
No, that's funny.
He'd call him Caesar. It was very fun. All right, we got to keep moving on because we have some sad news. A little sad news. Next slide there, Tim. Not too sad, but sad enough. Becky Lynch, she's injured.
Right.
Did you watch that match at SummerSlam?
I still haven't. I hear it's great.
Great match.
Tremendous.
Tremendous. Her versus Bianca Belair. And Becky got injured pretty early in the match.
Yeah, I saw a clip of her like doing
a separated shoulder. Jeez. A separated shoulder, and she still finished the match. And not only that, when they had the Bailey coming out with Io Sky and Dakota Kai, like Becky still remained in that mix. She like got up in their faces. Like it just awesome job, Becky.
Yeah.
What a trooper. Great mom, power mom.
The best, really the best of the four. Bailey's a close second, but really the best of the four horsewomen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Charlotte is very, very talented.
How would you rank them right now?
I mean, it's really like, it's hard because like all four of them are truly fantastic. But
and at one time, one of them was higher than the others. So
sure. I mean, just from like not even from like a placement on the card perspective, but like it is like Becky is one. To me, I've always liked Bailey a lot. And I like Bailey. Bailey has evolved in such a dramatic, like that's the thing. If you look at Charlotte and Sasha in 2017 compared to Charlotte and Sasha now, or like when they were last active, there's some minor differences, but they're about the same. But if you look at Bailey and Becky in 2017 compared to now, holy shit.
Yeah.
Completely different.
Most improved.
And Bailey's heel work is so good. Mm-hmm. It's really excellent. And Becky, like, should always be a babyface. The fact that she was a heel for a little bit there is very confusing to me. But both of them are really fantastic. I mean, would you say the same? Where are you at on that?
I would flip it a little bit. Becky's number one right now. I would say then Charlotte, because of all the things she's done. And Bailey, I don't think we've seen peak Bailey yet. I think whatever this trajectory she's on, it's on the right track.
Yeah.
It's almost there. We haven't seen peak Bailey yet. Like, I feel like she keeps getting injured right when it's starting to hit.
Her best
hopefully
work,
this one.
I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, cut me out. Let's go.
Her best work was in the pandemic when there was no one there. Her and Sasha they were going to NXT. They were having great matches in NXT with like Io Shirai, and they were having great feuds with Asuka, and Kairi was there for a period of time. Like, they were doing really great work. They were the only good thing on Raw at the beginning of the pandemic. Like, throughout 2020, it was really just them. But nobody saw it, so it's not the same. So
not the same. Woodsy to Beast says great match, but you could tell something was wrong with Becky. Yeah, you got to see it. We have so much to talk about. We're moving on. We have to move on because I got 2 big questions to ask you. These are big open-ended questions. This is the end of the show. I've got 2 of them this time.
Okay.
Number one. Where in the world is MJF? Hit that slide, Tam. Where in the world is MJF? Where in the world is MJF? It's too long.
I don't know. Sorry. I don't know if it's too long. And by that, I mean it is too long, but maybe it's this long because he couldn't help it. Like, maybe there's still beef. Maybe there's still things that.
Do you think this is real? That's my main question is, like, is this still a work, or was this ever a work?
If CM Punk is on All Out, which at this point, I don't know if he will be. I don't think he will be. They need to make that announcement like on Wednesday. If they don't make that announcement on Wednesday, I don't think he's going to be on that card. If CM Punk isn't on, oh shit. You know what? I'm scratching that. If MJF doesn't show up at All Out, I don't know if he's ever going to show up again.
Ever? Well, he's not. It's real.
He's not coming back to
Beef is real. Beef is real.
He is serving out the rest of his contract at home.
A year.
Yeah. And
end of 2024.
Is it really?
End of 2023. I'm sorry. End of 2023. Yeah. Excuse me.
And then, so if I'm Tony Khan and that's really the deal, then like there's nothing better that I can do than to just make him sit at home and try to get as cold as possible. But if that's the case, unless there's some type of legal action being taken, why hasn't he said anything? He's been radio silent, completely radio silent. Like, completely. Yeah. Like,
it's just
I don't follow his Twitter. Like, I don't know what's going on, but
it's just nothing.
If he made any comment whatsoever, we'd all know about it. So that is what tells me that it's still. He's
been radio silent with all the wrestlers. Like, people try to reach out. Like,
and nobody's overheard Tony Khan talking about MJF. Like, no one's heard a fucking word, and that's so interesting to me. And I just feel like it has to be a work. Nobody keeps anything this secret. It has to be a work.
Yeah.
But who knows? That's why one of 2 things can happen here. One, somehow MJF shows back up. I mean, the thing is, like, it's like, where do you go with MJF because of that last promo that he cut? Do you go and you say, he paid me, I'm getting paid, and he hates me for it, and we don't speak, he hates my fucking guts, but I got what I deserved, and I'm getting this money, and blah, 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 whatever. And then he's like, well, now that I'm here, I'm going to take this company to the next level and show you how valuable I am. I'm going to become champion. And he beats Moxley and becomes champion. And then as soon as he wins, out comes Punk with the other title. And now they're fighting to unify the interim and the actual AEW championship. And MJF beats him.
I that's interesting to me.
What else can you do?
But I feel like, man, that like it feels like it nukes everything that they did. Yeah, like I feel like I have an idea. He comes back a neutered dog. He comes back toeing the line, no scarf, just doing straight up like, you know, they want me to wrestle for a year. I'm going to wrestle for a year. You're just going to get me wrestling, you know, no mic.
You're doesn't want it. Not even MJF. You're just going to get Max Friedman.
You're getting Max Friedman. You're getting Max Friedman.
Yeah.
And he just comes out, does his thing, generic music, doesn't pose. No,
he wears
music.
An amateur wrestling, like amateur wrestling gear, you know,
sure.
Like a singlet.
I don't even know if that's the best way, because honestly, that makes me upset too. Like, I don't know a way. I feel like if it is a work, they work themselves into a box that there's just like, you can't possibly top what MJF did when he called out Tony Khan in Los Angeles early in May or June. You just can't top it.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
You can't top it and still save face. Like, you can't top it without Tony Khan getting his ass kicked or something, you know?
Yeah, get out of here. Bug. There's a bug.
Sick Goose on him.
Goose, get this bug. Is Goose in here? Oh, yeah, she's hiding behind the chair that's over there.
The bug scared her.
The bug scared her.
Tony writes, last MJF post was in May. So thank you so much, Tony, for that intel.
It's really weird.
And I have one last discussion piece. Next slide there, Tam. Ric Flair's last match. Have you seen it?
I've seen highlights. I still haven't watched the whole thing.
Well, I just want to talk a little bit about it because it's depressing.
Is it?
It was the saddest thing. And I think Meltzer agrees with me. He said it was the saddest thing he's seen in wrestling. And it is the saddest thing you can watch. Because it starts off like man, first thing I found out all this week he was drinking. All the week prior he was drinking out every night. And then when he comes out to the first thing, the show did not like the show. Yeah, I thought the show was a great booking, great promotion, awesome. I wanted to see it. When you get there, felt like a TV show, badly done,
like a house show kind of thing.
House show, not like short matches. All the matches that I was excited for, they kind of like were whatever. Even the Briscoes, Von Erichs were not.
Well, the Von Erichs aren't like great wrestlers. Like they were very good.
Yeah, it wasn't a great night. And I feel like when Rick came out, he came out with his robe, right? And he felt awkward. He looked awkward walking out, right? And then he like turns around and he opens his robe, but he's having trouble. And he turns around and it's his belt. It's the big gold belt underneath, but it's not like connected in the back, so he's kind of holding it up. And you could tell he's uncomfortable, so we don't even get the Ric Flair walk because he's already distracted.
Yeah.
And then he takes off his jacket immediately. He's wearing the t-shirt and the trunks.
Well, because he's also like, I didn't realize how he's got this it's probably insane, like this crazy
enormous scar. Yeah. I'm fine with him wrestling a t-shirt. I get the necessity of that. But just the fact that like that belt thing threw him off. He came to the ring and he looked old.
He is fucking old.
But like, if you saw those promos, you saw those promo videos, you're like, oh, maybe he could do another Ric Flair thing.
I was sold after that.
And then this was not that. Apparently, people in the arena thought it was okay match.
Sure.
But like, if you watch it on TV and you see him there's parts of the match where I was sincerely worried that he may be having a stroke or maybe dying. Because like there were parts where like he looked so out of it. He didn't look like he knew what was going on. There's a part in the match where he's on the ground. He got knocked down and they threw him brass knuckles. They threw him brass knuckles. Conrad Thompson threw him brass knuckles. And Andrade caught him. He's giving to Rick and Rick can't open his hand. His hand's shaking. Can't put it. Tries to put it in the other hand and he doesn't know what's going on. And he's saying, I passed out. And then he eventually gets up, gives a punch and pins or does the figure four or something. It was hard. Yeah. It was a hard thing to watch. Yeah. Wish that upon no one to watch. Like it was just a terrible way to end your career. And you know what he said afterwards, Roy?
He's got another one.
I don't know how many more of these I got. No, you don't have any more. You haven't for a decade.
Yeah. He literally died, that's the whole thing. It would be a horrible way for someone to end their career if they were in their 50s. This guy's my dad's age. This guy's fucking 73 years old and he's gushing blood and he's almost died and had all these surgeries. So the fact that he's even fucking walking and can take a suplex is a fucking miracle. So I don't know.
If Bob was 80.
Oh my God, that's amazing. It's incredible that you just said that. Do I think the whole thing's kind of a disgrace? Yeah.
You remember Gypsy Joe's last match? Pretty memorable.
Was his New Jack match his last match?
I hope to God it was. I hope to God it was.
Yeah.
But
I agree with you overall. That like it's just not something that I want to watch ever.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to watch it. I have to watch it. And knowing that Ric Flair is okay, at least as okay as he can be, that makes me feel better about watching it. But I've been kind of putting it off because I know that it's probably very sad.
Yeah, very sad. Very, very sad. But yeah, that's the end of the news. Thank you all so much. But we are not done. We have a Hall of Fame induction to do.
Weekly Hall of Fame. This is much happier.
Is it much happier?
Yeah, I'm not going to induct Ric Flair.
Woods and B says we need one more match. The ref screwed Jarrett. Flair versus Jarrett exploding barbed wire death match. Woodsy, where's the dog?
That's smart. That's smart. Use gimmicks, bunch of gimmicks, so he doesn't have to do anything.
No, we don't want him to bleed anymore. He literally said, like, because he's taking blood thinners for his heart, and they're like, "What are you gonna do about blood thinners?" He's just like, "I just won't take them a couple days before the show." No, that's not. Tony writes, Flair versus Nick Gage. Honestly, they just both fall down, fall on their backs like turtles. Can't
Did you
get
see
up.
the picture of them together?
No,
they just they met and took a picture together, and it's so good.
That's really funny.
They're both doing like the MDK thing. It's so funny.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, man. But who are you inducting into the Loser Leagues Wrestling Hall of Fame, Roy?
This week, I'm inducting a team of men who have been working very hard, and they are. I'm distracted because I'm trying to find that picture of Nick Gage and Ric Flair. He put it on Twitter and he wrote, "My guy Ric Flair is gang affiliated." MDK.
Nick Gage should only be at Twitter.
They've been working really hard, and they deserve this spot in the LLW Weekly Hall of Fame. They had a great match this week. They came out on top. Although I would say the losers could potentially get inducted this week as well. But the winners this week are the Acclaimed.
Wow. Because I was going to induct the Acclaimed as well.
Wow. Well, I can change mine to the Ass Boys because I think they both deserve to get inducted.
I'll change mine to the Ass Boys. You inducted first. Roy, funny you mentioned that. Because I did pick the losers this week. Because honestly, they both, I was actually thinking tossing up between the two. Because the Acclaimed cut an awesome rap at the beginning, and just how Anthony Bowens just does a great job of getting so good. And Max Caster is I think Bowens I like more as a wrestler, and the transverse for him as a performer. But now they're kind of just both crossing. Like I love Bowens' personality, and Max Caster is bringing it. And the Gun Club, they are doing great work these days, and including Billy. I think both of them deserve it, but I'm inducting the Ass Boys, the Gun Club, into the Hall of Fame. And there you have it.
Love it.
There you have it. Our weekly August 6th LLWHOF. We have the Gun Club and the Acclaimed. Aww. Everyone give it up for our favorite Loser Leagues Wrestling. We have Woodsy and Beast doing scissor motions, Roy. Scissor. Are you talking about Gage or are you talking about thank you all so much for joining us. We really appreciate y'all in the chat and jumping in. If you want to join our Discord, message us at loserleaguespod@gmail.com. The Patreon is ending. The Patreon is ending.
The Patreon is ending, but since it
all Patreon members will get exclusive merchandise once we're
going to post a couple more things before it shuts down completely. We have to, just because it rolled over into August, and I want to make sure that people at least get their.
We'll give them some really good shit.
Yeah.
We're gonna give them some really everything.
A wrestling match between myself and another person, commentated by Red Jefferson, that we'll probably put on there. There's some fights, some other things.
We should post our first match.
We should post our first
from anything on TV, the show, Jeff and Royster show.
Definitely should post that. We'll post our interaction with a famous professional wrestler. I don't know if that's been on there yet. We'll post that when Red got kicked in the face.
I think we've given them Johnny Mundo.
I don't think we have.
We had to.
We'll look. If we haven't, you're in for a treat.
You're in for it. It's all yours. But thank you all so much for joining us. We really appreciate y'all. Have a great one. Roy, say something fun to end the show.
Hey.
5, 4, 3, 2.
I'm excited to share that stuff. It's gonna be
fun. Say what? Wait, are we 3, 2?
1.
Sorry, 1.
Olé!